All right. That down. What do we got up next, Paris?
Yeah, John, well, as you mentioned earlier, today marks the official 3-week countdown to the release of Deadpool and Wolverine, which comes out in just 21 days. I'm excited. Woo! All right, industry insiders are now putting out their projections from the film, and according to Deadline, the movie is tracking to be the biggest opening of the year and the biggest opening for an R-rated film in history, with a target of 165 million. So, for perspective, Inside Out 2, which just passed the billion-dollar mark, had an opening weekend of 154 million when projected for 85 million. So, yeah, big difference. So, John, how significant would this opening be for Deadpool and Wolverine?
It would be insanity. Absolutely insanity. Now, I want to put this $165 million mark in perspective. And before we do, just a little note. Some of you might be remembering, wait a minute, wasn't there a number given a little while back of 200 million? Yes. The Quorum, which is another organization, they put out a long range forecast of around 200 million. And by the way, now that we're 3 weeks out, the other industry people are coming out and putting out their projections 165. But it should be noted that the Quorum has put out statements saying they're standing by it. They're saying 200 million. And let's just remember, Inside Out 2 was projected at like 85 and it ended up making 150. So we'll see. But let's go with the low number, okay? Let's use that rock bottom lowest number, 165. Take a look at this. The highest grossing R-rated films in history for opening weekend, number one, well, was the first original Deadpool. Made 132 million on its opening weekend. Next, Deadpool 2. Deadpool kind of opening that opening weekends for R-rated films. Made 125.5. It had an incredible opening weekend for an R-rated film at 123.4. Joker, which we know went on to make $1 billion at the box office, got nominated for Best Picture and won Joaquin Phoenix his Best Actor Academy Award. It had a $96.2 million opening. And then going back to The Matrix Reloaded, also known as the worst Matrix, no, sorry. Matrix Reloaded, that was the second one, right?
Yeah.
Yes, sorry, I take that back. The third Matrix was the worst one. Anyway, Matrix Reloaded made $91.7 million. So you're talking about by 30, if we go with the low number of 165, that means that Deadpool 3 would beat the existing R-rated opening weekend by $30 plus million. That is insane. By 30 million. It would be obliterating that record. Now, if it comes closer, which I think it will, to that Quorum number of 200 million, well, then we're talking about rewriting a lot of record books. But even at that low number, at 165, we're talking about an astonishing thing. And something that Paris pointed out, Inside Out 2 just passed the $1 billion mark. And it opened lower. It opened with 150 something million dollars. So if Deadpool 3 can indeed come out to that 165 million, it is well on its way to the billion. And I know I'd like to revisit this once in a while because there's still people out there who tell me on the regular that I am crazy for thinking that Deadpool 3, being an R-rated film, will make $1 billion. To which my response stays as it ever has. If you understand that the original two Deadpool movies got close to 800 million, so like 700 and something each, and now you're adding the huge long wait, the fact that Ryan Reynolds is a bigger star today than he ever was, the fact that Deadpool is now in the MCU, and the fact that the thing that fans have been screaming for, Hugh Jackman returns as Wolverine and is joining Deadpool in a movie together. I would suggest that if you don't think those things combined equal just another 200 million, like really, you don't think all that combined can equal just 200 million more? I don't know what's in. Now look, I take all of that back if the movie sucks. It's true though. If Deadpool sucks, then, well, it's going to have a big opening weekend, yes, but it won't get to the $1 billion mark. So, I mean, there's that. But I got to ask Ray, because Ray hears me talking about this all the time. Like, for you, I know I'm glowing about it. I'm oohing and on about it. Where's your excitement level right now for like Deadpool 3?
It's gone, I think, way past the point of excitement where now I'm just mute about it. I don't want to see anything else. I just want to get I want to get into theater. I mean, like, I've been gauging the box office recently by what we encounter when we go opening day. Inside Out 2 was different. Was way different than all the other ones. I could gloat about how many people were there in other movies that we saw before. Even
Right.
Godzilla X Kong had a good turnout.
It really did.
It seemed.
Really good turnout.
But Inside Out 2 was different. It was inside and out. There was outside, there was lines.
Huge
inside
lines,
there was lines.
The parking lots were full.
I have the same feeling about Deadpool. It's gonna be one of those things that throws us back to Avengers 1 when we went to go see Avengers at Burbank.
I remember that
I
day.
have a feeling, and No Way Home. I have a feeling we're in for something special that day and that whole weekend. It's gonna be great. I'm excited. Just because I'm mute, it just means my excitement's already gone past a normal person. It's just now I'm just waiting. Yeah. It's a waiting game now. Like, don't show me anymore, please.
Well, look, you guys think you're gonna have a big opening on what is it, Thursday? I'm going with the real hype crowd. 8 a.m. Sunday morning, baby.
And also, not only that, my excitement for this Deadpool popcorn bucket is just equally the same. If I miss out on pre-ordering
You
this
guys
on
gotta
AMC's
get that thing,
website,
dude.
The first thing Ray
If
said
I
when he
miss-
came in this morning is, has there been any news about when they're going to start selling the popcorn bucket?
if
That
I
was the
miss
first
out
thing
on
he
this
said.
thing,
Which one do you want? You want the-
no, you have to get both.
I think
Well,
you
you know
should.
what?
have to.
I think that Deadpool one, remember when we covered the Deadpool one,
Oh,
and I
is it
said,
Regal?
listen, there has been no official confirmation from anybody that this is real. Turns out it wasn't real. Which is what people always say, John, why do you always give these disclaimers? That's why I give the disclaimers. It turns out that,
Well,
bummer.
then that leaves only one to buy then.
yep,
better
only
for
got to get
us.
the one.
Yeah.
With the cum butter.
No, someone needs to put that in production. I want that one.
Oh,
I
my
don't
God,
know.
that would look so
I mean,
good.
it even looked good for like as a display piece.
Yeah.
know?
Oh,
I
that's
think
such a bummer.
the sales of that popcorn bucket might equal the box office of this movie. They're
Well,
going
I
to
hope they're made
sell
a
it
lot.
Oh, I'm sure they're going to make a lot. And they're going to sell a lot of popcorn, man. They're going to sell a lot of popcorn. I want to ask Paris this because, Jonathan, me, and Ray, we have a lot of overlap in our circles and stuff like that. I don't have any overlap with any of your circles. Do you hear anybody in your spheres like getting excited about or talking about
Oh my
Deadpool?
gosh, my circle is so lame. They are haters.
Oh,
They're
no.
like,
What?
oh, I feel like it's being overhyped.
Oh no.
They feel like Hugh is getting too old, and they kind of feel. Someone mentioned that Hugh Jackman now it's like watching Ryan Gosling be young and try to be Barbie, like be Ken. And I'm like, first of all, Hugh Jackman looks amazing.
He looks so good.
What are you talking about? But yeah, my circle is saying that we're gonna be disappointed, and I
I
think
think
they're
that
wrong.
Ryan Gosling did great as Ken. I'm
Yeah,
confused.
So
Right.
too.
But I think they're saying like Hugh Jackman's trying to be that.
Now
he's trying too
But
hard.
Hugh
Oh, gotcha,
played, but
yeah.
this thing,
Yeah.
Hugh plays it now. When you go back to Logan, Hugh is playing Wolverine like old man
Yeah, he's
Logan.
playing it older.
Like he's playing the age, right? Sort of thing. And my God, he looks so good.
Yeah, but they're
I
still.
mean, he looks
I bet you
great.
they're still going to see the movie though.
Yeah, of
So
course they are.
money's
Okay.
money. They're still making it.
You know when you discover a new binge-worthy show or a song that you bump on repeat and you have to share it with your friends so they can experience just how awesome it is? That's kind of what it feels like when you discover that Mint Mobile offers premium wireless for $15 a month when you purchase a 3-month plan. It's such an awesome deal, there is no way you can keep it to yourself. My last mobile service provider was quite good, but ever since I switched to Mint Mobile, I've enjoyed even better coverage, better phone clarity, and I'm paying less than a third of what I paid to my old provider. Say goodbye to your overpriced wireless plans, jaw-dropping monthly bills, and unexpected overages. All plans come with high-speed data and unlimited talk and text delivered on the nation's largest 5G network. Use your own phone with any Mint Mobile plan and bring your phone number along with all of your existing contacts. To get this new customer offer and your new 3-month unlimited wireless plan for just $15 a month, go to mintmobile.com/Campea. That's mintmobile.com/Campea. Cut your wireless bills to $15 a month at mintmobile.com/Campea. $45 upfront payment required, equivalent to $15 a month. New customers on first 3-month plan only. Speed slower above 40 gigabytes on unlimited plan. Additional taxes, fees, and restrictions may apply. See Mint Mobile for details. But now here's the question. So in the trailer, the big joke in it is when Wade says, I smell what you're stepping in, Sensei, but I am Marvel Jesus. Okay. Will Deadpool be that? Now, look, I don't think one bad movie can derail an entire film franchise. But I also don't think one great movie can completely turn everything around. So my personal feeling on Deadpool and Wolverine is number one, they need it to be great. They have to have it. But if it is great, and I understand that's a big if, but if it is great, I don't think it just snaps its fingers and fixes all the problems of the MCU. But what I do think it does is it, number one, completely changes the narrative of how people talk about the MCU. I think it will reignite a lot of enthusiasm for the MCU. It'll get a lot of people like me who've been like, yeah, I've loved the MCU for a long time, but it ain't doing so hot right now. I think if this movie is great, it'll do a lot to reignite enthusiasm and at least put it on the right path. I don't think it fixes everything, but I think it puts it on the right path.
I don't think it affects anything story-wise. I think they're going to go with whatever they're doing, but it is a movie that will put people's, make people happy or like at least change the course of the way people's been feeling about Marvel lately.
Yeah, I agree.
At least put them in a position where they're like, okay, maybe I'm ready for the next Marvel movie. And then that movie that comes after this movie needs
Captain America 4.
Capitalize.
Anthony Mackie, you got to deliver.
Capitalize on what Deadpool did for you. You know what I mean?
Because the same thing would happen at CinemaCon. I felt like almost every year was like clockwork. Like overall, the general feel about the DCEU was pretty not great in general, right? But then the same thing would happen every year. Comic-Con would come, and whatever you think about the DCEU movies, especially in the first 5 or 6 years, they made killer trailers. So even though like the overall atmosphere about the DCEU at the time was like, a lot of the fans didn't like it, a lot of the critics didn't like all that kind of stuff. But then Comic-Con would come and they would drop some insanely awesome trailer. And then all of a sudden again, the narrative changed. Everybody was excited about it. And then the movies would come out and people would be disappointed again.
And do you guys remember how lenient we were with Marvel? If they released maybe one that wasn't so good, we'd be like, oh, that's fine.
There's one bump in the road.
Now they're at a point where you release one bad one, people are getting off that car immediately.
It amplifies it because the recency bias is not so good, right? I mean, listen, I'm not being a hater here. They have had some terrific big wins lately. Guardians of the Galaxy 3, for example, huge big win. They've done a couple of really good things, but they've also done, I've said this for the last year or two, they've done more mediocre things than we're used to seeing them doing. And so now, to your point, Ray, when a bad or mediocre one comes out, it's amplified because it's just adding now to this pile of not so good stuff. They need they don't just need a win, they need a winning streak.
And let's face it, Marvel has had the year off. If they come back with their first one and it's trash, I don't know what's going to happen.
And
really.
I think Kevin Feige knows exactly that same thing, which is why they did like a 3/4 reshoot on Captain America 4. They went back and retooled that entirely. So
and look at Blade. I couldn't even say it and I started laughing.
I was like, what?
Poor Ray. Poor Ray.
I tried to say that with a straight face.
We had such a good segment right
now. We was going so well. Everything was going so good. Anyway, guys, question is for you. What do you think about this? Now that we're within 3 weeks, the main industry people are now putting out their projections, and they're projecting the biggest opening of the year and the biggest R-rated opening in history. Some others, like the Quorum, are still saying, that's big, but it's going to be bigger. It's going to be like around 200 million. What do you guys think about this? How big do you think this thing's going to be? How many people are going to be rushing out to see Deadpool and Wolverine on its opening weekend? Whatever you guys think, jump down into the comment section below and let us know your thoughts. Hey guys, thanks so much for watching this video. Make sure you like the video, leave a comment, and subscribe to our channel. And don't forget, we have a daily podcast called the John Campea Show podcast, available on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or your favorite podcasting app of choice. Go and subscribe to it today so it'll be there when you need it.